Mike here, Acts 10. I'll split it in three, but first one's long, so I have to gleam over parts up to 22, from 1 to 22, I think, verses. At Caesarea, there was a man named Cornelius, a Roman centurion, son, as over 100 men. He and his family were devout Christians, and he gave generously, right, and prayed regularly to the poor. He saw a vision of an angel. Well, he saw an angel. What form, I don't know. A messenger. And he said, Cornelius, the angel stared at him, and he, in fear, Cornelius stared at the angel and said, "Fear, what is it, Lord?" The angel answered, "Your gifts to the poor are like a peace offering to God." And right, and he said, "Have you come up as a memorial? They've come up as a memorial before God, all your gifts to the poor. Now send to Joppa for this man named Simon, who is Peter, the apostle Peter, and he'll have something to say to you." When the angel spoke, Cornelius and two of his servants, devout soldiers, who was one of his attendants, he sent them. Cornelius sent the devout soldier and some of his attendants to go get Peter and to see what he had to say to Joppa. Peter's vision. About noon the following day, Peter had a vision. Okay, now on the vision on the rooftop, he became hungry and wanted something to eat. While the meal was being prepared, he fell into a trance. That's when he fell into a trance, had a vision. He saw heaven open up and something like a large sheet being let down. It contained all kinds of four-footed animals, like the Old Testament, good and bad, like pork. I'll leave it there, right? He wasn't supposed to eat it in the Old Testament, right? And he says, and all kinds of animals as well as birds, everything. Then the voice said, God said, "Get up, Peter." It was Jesus. Well, we spoke the word, "Kill and eat these animals." "Surely not, Lord," Peter said. "I've never eaten unclean like the Old Testament." That's the purpose of this. There's a duality here. The voice said, "Do not call out God anything impure that God has called clean." This happened 3 times, and immediately the sheet was taken up to heaven. While Peter was wondering what's going on, Cornelius found where Simon lived and stopped there by the gate and called out for Simon and says, "Simon, my master said you have something to say to us in a vision. Can you come to him?" Peter went down and spoke to the men. "Why have you come?" And the men told him that. And then Peter invited them in the house. He heard what, and then later he goes on to tell them what to do. But anyways, what this means is a duality. One is the Old Testament meats are done away, as Apostle Paul explained. They're all proteins, fats, vitamins. Okay, it doesn't matter. It was done because to hurt them in the Old Testament. I mean, for their sins. Okay, they couldn't have the best meats. They had to sacrifice the best animals. They couldn't have a limb. It also means the main one is the spiritual part of it. What you call unclean, the Gentiles is now clean. Okay, and then now you accept them in the church, okay? That's what it means. I'll carry on with part 2 and 3. It's a good chapter later. Bye.